Hello, and welcome to a new edition of True Audio Files. So, as the title mentioned, I'm going to talk about, are you ever really done buying records? I bring this up because I saw some of this talked about in social media, but also on some YouTube channels that I watch, and that, hey, I'm done buying records, and, I don't need any more, or don't want any more, or don't have the need to buy any more. And I was thinking to myself, boy, that is pretty impressive, just because I don't know if I ever will be in that position. Just because not only do I like to buy new releases, like the Billy Idol here, but when a good new reissue comes out, I tend to like to buy them, like the classic vinyl series from Blue Note. And I just feel that there's also, when it comes to old titles, there's still obviously always a couple that I want to get, but I'm always expanding my musical taste. Especially jazz has been getting more expansive for me over the last probably 5 years or so. I've been into it for decades, but it used to be just kind of a, John Coltrane, Miles Davis, maybe a couple of others here and there. I'd buy a compilation like the jazz miniseries box set, things like that. Billie Holiday, Ella Fitzgerald, stuff like that. But now, I'm getting deeper into it with Charles Mingus and Eric Dolphy and, Errol Garner and just a bunch of other stuff. So, and Herbie Hancock, obviously. But anyways, so there's that portion of it. But then there's also the portion of, there's never a situation where there's very few records that I own that are in absolute perfect condition. There are very few. Probably on maybe can count them on my hands and my toes, the ones that are probably perfect and probably the most perfect that I'm ever going to get. So I'm always out there looking for a better copy of an album that I have, for example, earlier pressing or a first pressing of an album that I really like that I would like to get. For example, I've been buying all these classic vinyl series records and the Tone Poets and the Acoustic Sound reissues, and even some of the old classic records and Analog Productions and MoFi reissues. And there are some of those that, I would love to be able to find original pressings of. And now, whether I can afford them or want to spend the money on them, I guess would be a different argument, of course. But I don't see myself ever having a situation where there's not something to buy, especially now that they're starting to do a lot more companies, a lot more labels / artists are releasing like deluxe editions or super deluxe editions, like the Prince series where they had the 1999 and the Sign of the Times, and to a lesser extent Purple Rain, Beatles albums that are being remixed, and then they're also releasing, the demos and, stuff like that. All of those things are getting me to buy more records, for better or worse. So, yeah, I don't see myself ever slowing. I don't want to say slowing down, because I have somewhat slowed down recently, but I don't see myself ever stopping from buying any records. Just purely based on new release stuff that comes out. And I guess I can see the people that are of the thought process that, if it's recorded digitally, why buy it on vinyl? And I can understand that. For me, if I'm pretty confident that it was recorded in a high resolution digital format, in most cases, the only way you're going to get that high resolution digital reproduced in a physical copy is on record, because you're not going to get it on a CD, and most companies don't release super audio CDs or DVD audios or Blu-ray audio at that much anymore. So the pretty much the best way to, or not, I don't want to say best way, the only way I'm aware of to get a physical copy of that high definition or high resolution digital recording is on vinyl. Even how weird that might seem or sound, that's the reality. Plus, the artwork and just the things that they give you with the records, posters, inserts, just some great stuff that you just don't get with any other options on new release stuff. Like the Iron Maiden one I think I showed a couple weeks ago. I mean, that one has just an amazing packaging to it. And, things like this one. This is a metal band called Spiritbox, and it's got a die cut cover, which be interesting to see what the inside looks like. But that one, is kind of cool. And, little things like that kind of go a long way to make owning a physical copy cool. Also things like the Venom behind me is a splatter. I think it's black and gold or black and brown splatter. And I've got one that's right behind me that will not be shown on YouTube because of the violent and graphic nature of the album cover, but that one is a special color copy vinyl as well. Or get things like this is another great example, the Porcupine Tree. I believe this was remixed by Steven Wilson a couple years ago and made to be a little bit more dynamic than it was when it originally came out. But please correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm saying that incorrectly, because I know he's definitely done that on a few of his albums. I'm not 100% certain if this is one of them that he's done that with. But anyways, I don't, I didn't have this one on vinyl, and it just got re-released, so I decided to buy it. So, things like that. And, I don't know, I guess that's how I feel about it. I think that if you like listening to records and, you still buy new releases and you like some of the audiophile reissues that are coming out, I would have a hard time believing that you're going to ever run dry on records to purchase. I think you're always going to be able to find something to purchase. I know, because I know that's definitely always the case with me. Even if I stayed away from new releases that I knew were kind of a lower resolution digital recording, I still would be able to find stuff, I'm quite certain. So that's what I have to say. I would love to hear what you have to say. I'd love to hear your comments below telling me about what your thoughts are. Are you done buying records? Do you have everything that you want in the best possible condition you can get them in? Or do you still have a bunch that you're trying to search for in better condition, like near mint or mint condition, that, maybe the ones you have are in a VG or maybe VG plus condition that you'd like to have in better shape? I'd love to hear about what you have to say about that. So please make those comments below. If you liked this video, hit that like button. Subscribe to my channel if you want to see more of my videos. Hit that alert bell so you know when my new videos come out. And also check my social media pages. I'm trying to get a little bit more active on those. I had a couple of posts here early this week, so where sometimes we'll go a little more in depth on the topics I've talked about on my video, and maybe talk about some of the new releases that I have behind me all the time. So anyway, that's everything I've got for this week. I hope you have a great one. Thank you very much.